So, last little shape we have left, the triangle there, P, 1, 2, 3, P triple prime, Q and so on. How do I get from this triangle to that triangle? Now, usually you can, if you have a sketch, it's easy to see how you get from one hand. I could see that this has been reflected over, see that? Because the order of my letters has changed. See, that's usually what happens when you reflect something. That one there, you can see the order of the letters stayed the same. So you can see that the shape has just been rotated. Right? It's in a different position and it faces a different direction. That one, if you notice, that PRQ looks exactly the same over there as it does over there. Which tells me immediately that I'm looking at a translation, right? See that? Well, but I'm going to check that by writing down any coordinate in the original shape and comparing it to the new position and saying, well, let's take the point R and change that to the point R triple prime. So, the input of that, what is the value there? X is -1 and R and Y is 0. That goes to the new point, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. X value is 9 and the Y value is negative, let's see, negative 1, 2, 3, that's negative 3. Negative 3. And now I'm going to write down the general rule for this because that's going to help me decide what kind of transformation has been done. So I look at that and I go, let's call this my input x, y, and I look at how I get from there to there. Now most of your transformations has to do with operations done on x and y. So I can either multiply x with something, I can swap x and y, but I can see that's not done here, right? So the only thing I can think of is, and the sketch confirms it, that the shape hasn't been rotated or reflected, it's just been moved, shifted. So what did I do with my x? What happens there? I have an input x, -1 to 9, how do I get there? I just add 10. How do I get from y value of 0 to -3? I go y minus 3. And that there is my general rule. Which now immediately leads me to my description of this. How do I describe this transformation? I simply say it is being translation. It's a translation of 10 units to which side? To the right. 10 units right. And see that? Down. And 3 units down. There we go. And that is the end of transformation.